Minister, you're very welcome to the House for this, the last hooray of COVID measures, we hope. It seems like only yesterday that the legislation to which this motion refers to was being rushed through the House, all stages in one sitting, with pre-legislative scrutiny having been waived. I opposed it then, and I oppose it now. I watched this motion being debated in the lower house yesterday and was particularly struck by the clear and candid summation of events by Deputy Connolly, how we were told that this legislation was essentially to reopening. It was put through on a government majority, and 4 months on we have no clear picture of how it is operating. No numbers on compliance officers hired, emergency cessation orders handed out, compliance notices served. There has been no independent assessment of adherence to GDPR by businesses carried out functions under this Act. And yet, here we are again, trotted into this chamber to rubber stamp the extension of this outrageous Act because it's what the government wants, just in case. On the 5th of October last year, there were 518 cases. This year, there were 1,124. On the 5th of October last year, not a single person in the world had been vaccinated. Now, 7.4 million vaccines have been received in this country, with the 90% of the adult population mark having been passed in September. Aside from breakthrough cases which were expected in older persons and those with underlying conditions, the vaccines have largely succeeded in reducing the hospitalisation rate per 1,000, and this is reflected in the planned date of the 22nd of this month for the rollback of COVID measures. All of this begs the questions why we are here. The Act provides for an extension of any period up to 3 months. Why opt for the full 3 months? Why not match the sunset clause of the Act to the government's chosen end date for the use of domestic vaccine certificates? Do we really expect the COVID ghost of Christmas past to rear its ugly head again? If so, what modelling is that based on? Where was it published? Is it NEFIT's modelling? The same modelling that predicted 2,300 cases today under its minimum change modelling scenario back in summer. For those who can remember, this modelling was undertaken to provide various scenarios to inform the government's reopening of society. Minimal change meant outdoor dining remained closed to all. You'll remember it, Minister, as the letter was sent to you. Under the most pessimistic scenario, there were supposed to be 681,900 cases by the end of September, while the most optimistic scenario would see 81,000 cases. There were, in fact, 35,700 cases. The most optimistic scenario projected 165 deaths between the end of June and September. The actual figure for the period was just over 60. The data was widely inaccurate, and this is NEFA's best case scenario we're comparing reality to, and that was certainly not the one that got the headlines. Grim and sobering were the headlines, and you, Minister, warned us that the biggest hurricane that has ever hit Ireland is coming. It wasn't true. It didn't happen. I don't for one second think that you were being disingenuous, Minister. You are simply being cautious. But we cannot afford to be so cautious with such abandon, for our caution comes at a price too. And when our caution is based on such inaccurate data, or as in this case with the impact of this Act, no data at all, it becomes an impossible pill to swallow. Let's recognise the reality of the situation for once. Clear message to the public that blunt instruments of lockdown will be put away for good, and that the insidious practice of dividing society based on vaccination status will be likewise put to rest. I oppose the use of domestic vaccine certificates, and I oppose this motion before the House today. Thank you.